awful for an Axe to have to jump a Lion in the middle of these crazy, chaotic fights when you have someone else like a Brewmaster who should also be pretty high priority lockdown.
It's a tough game. I agree with you because there's just so many ways to deal with both the Razor illusions and the Razor himself in the mid game. The only advantage I see here or the big advantage I see for them is that
I don't know what I was expecting.
For the lanes for the most because there's a lot of magical damage to be dealt there, but you should be able to deal with it decently. The Razor can create a lot of space, and then if you bring this into the late game, you're doing well. You know, if this goes late,
Just
like your core is good, Lion's damage falls off eventually. Ideally, Axe maybe has to consider a pipe just to play the TB, or you get something along the lines of any sort of save really for the TB, and yeah, you can kind of make it work, but I still like Alliance's draft for the most part. I feel like they have a much easier time playing this game.
Yep, agreed. I think the fights come a bit more naturally to them as they will look for first blood. Unfortunately, Lion slow to a crawl here thanks to the Acorn shot. Next, the plasma field will end up dropping for first blood. Kill going on over to Seam of the Slayer.
Yeah, giving the first blood over to Unique. Definitely not what Alliance is looking for. Luckily, at least it wasn't given it to FN, because if FN got that, then Limp's lane becomes really difficult. But we'll see. I think
he's no longer coaching effectively of, I would suppose, at least this tournament.
30 seconds to battle.
Which we'll see the change. Maybe Alliance plays better. Maybe Alliance plays exactly the same, and that's why I decided I didn't have to use PPD any longer. What matters to me is that we get to watch Alliance plays. You know, the coaches are very important. I'm sure that I'm very sad that EPD left the org, but I am happy to still see the players play together. That's the main concern. No changes for Alliance itself, and I don't think this should change their playstyle too much. We'll see how this game goes for them. This will be the first trial of this difficult tournament.
It shall, and of course it will get more difficult from here, at least according to the seeding it will. Winner of this best of 3 moving on to play Team Secret at the end of today.
Is it going to get harder? Well, we'll see. I mean, Secret in the Major was not looking too good.
I would agree with you there. That's why I said little caveat, at least according to the seeding. See, perhaps Secret just taking it easy, relaxing a little bit, and getting ready for the international, saving their energy for that.
Sometimes when the people are relaxing, they actually play the strongest, honestly, because there's zero pressure as well.
Yep.
Sometimes the pressure just gets into the team's mind. I feel like this, we'll see how this matchup goes. I'm excited to watch Limp already going for the first point in Corrosive Skin. He's done this, I've seen this before as well. I forgot who it was against that he played exactly the same. But you go for the first point in Corrosive Skin just so they just can't do much to you. They can't follow after you, of course, with the puzzle field, and you just try to last it, because your projectile speed's quite nice, your damage is actually not that bad. You don't play the harassment lane because you know you can't. And then second point, usually into another toxin to push the lane out.
Well, they will get first blood.
Team's magical damage starts to become more relevant. Supports get levels. You can get a hood and later even a pipe, right? With a ring of health. And then that's super, I mean, it's a very efficient lineup, or a very efficient way to build up. And it's a very useful way to get the best of both worlds this game as an Axe. Because Axe as an aura offlaner kind of sucks, unfortunately. So you kind of have to make it work with both. And I think that's an idea here for Ghost if he wants to still be efficient with the Axe.
I think I was looking at a bunch of like the hero combos with Terrorblade, because from the last patch when we saw a lot
struggle against a TB in the lane. They don't bully him as much. He can always go jungle to recover if their lane is really good, and he can really beat them into the mid game because they're not very mobile except for the Centaur.
Yep. First point, by the way, in Reflection here. Valentimos now getting the points in the Metamorphosis. Will immediately activate it. Was looking for bonus damage, but nice Earth Spike stun coming through to minimize that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like for the most part, what we've kind of covered is, as far as this TV goes and his illusions specifically, we've got those covered on Alliance, right? We've got, that should not be the issue. To me, I think actually the Razor, if he goes unchecked here, and Limp doing a good job forcing him into tower already with 5 stacks of the poison, needs to keep him in check.
Yep. I'm surprised by this. They didn't even need to push the lane whatsoever. FN is just struggling to play around the cooldowns. The static link cooldown at their levels is pretty bad. So you can just play around level 1, level 2 static link. Once he hits level 5 on Razor, I can imagine you can bully the Viper fully, but for now, Limp has been doing a pretty good job of avoiding getting completely pushed out. His positioning has been really good this game.
FN looking for the water rune, still there. That's going to be another refill here pretty soon for Limp, just making sure he can get all the CS. Didn't get that range one, but it wasn't denied, and he was there for the XP anyway. Top lane though, Ghostic doing pretty well in this lane, I would say. 12-5 versus the Spectre and the Wyvern. Not a weak lane whatsoever. Definitely at its weakest stage for now, but with the Arctic Burn, that does quite a fair chunk of change of damage here to Ghostic's axe.
Yeah, that's true. Wyvern also a solution to these kind of tanky offlaners a bit. And because you have so much range with a Winter Wyvern, you don't really need to care about that counter helix very often. Spectre can play around the trees, doesn't need to hit axe too much. Just wants to hit trees, hit crypts, mind you. So it's looking decent for Alliance. I mean, that mid lane was my biggest concern, and it seemed fine for them. Now, Limp has managed to avoid the strength of Static Link, but Razor's playing more and more aggressive as time goes on. Effort just trying to kick Limp out of the lane, to destroy the assets here.
Yep. Cheeky little point to the Storm Surge. That bonus move speed to try and offset the corrosive skin slow is going to be pretty darn nice, or just the slow is really overall. But yeah, I mean, speaking of playing around the trees, right, as we look more and more into these mid to late game team fights, Wyvern famous for playing around the trees, just using Arctic Burn to pop out, cast the ulti when you need to. I'd be curious to see how the Willow, or sorry, not the Willow, how the Hoodwink, rather, is going to be looking to counterplay her, if at all.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, into the mid game, that tree gets vision that the Acorn shot shoots, right? So it's kind of easy to use her around the trees. Scurry as well, just between them. She's going to be going for the Bushwhack build that everyone's been abusing because this ability is honestly broken. But Slayer playing a 5 Hoodwink. I've seen this, I think we saw it once in the Major, I want to believe. But I'm not the biggest fan. I think 4 is much stronger because you can gank. Right now, you're really just securing a lane. It seems to be working though for the TB, so I mean, it seems like they're happy. They don't need to play super high tempo with this TB anyway. And the Brewmaster, like I said, one of his weakest parts is the laning stage. He also went for the Drunken Brawler build, which is kind of weak against TB. Top lane, Ghostic. There's an attempt on his life here as Nikobaby is chasing him down. He's been soloed by the Arctic Burn. Ghostic might just die here. Hits Nikobaby, doesn't care. Nikobaby gets healed by F&G. And Bignum will just kind of hit him with rage there, like a little child having a tantrum, trying to kill him with that Shadow Realm. Not going to work on Nikobaby. Already 2 points in Dispersion. That's going to be enough to survive that. Of course, with the help of the Cold Embrace.
Slayer saying hello to Hanskin, who was maybe looking to place an aggressive ward in the jungle, expecting the TB to start his jungling pretty soon. So Slayer, nice little river ward here, is just going to let him know whenever the line is making this move, unless he uses a smoke. So I like the play. Vision of the utmost important, of course, in all games, but especially this game when you do have a hero as predictable as the TB is.
Yep. S4, there's the Bushwhack. I said the skill is a bit dumb, but they don't have any more catch for him, no Metamorphosis. So it's just Slayer keeping the lane in check, making sure S4 can have the easiest lane in the world. He did go for the Ring of Health already to be able to withstand most of the Hoodwink's damage. This hero is more about the catch and the mobility you have. The damage is just not that high, unless you build it like a core. Bignum, Hanskin is going to find him here. He's protecting the rune. Not very successfully, though, as now they're going to go on him. Limp. Can't attack him any longer thanks to the Shadow Realm. Limp thinking of taking the long route, but he's also going to his high ground. No point in playing that any more aggressively. FN goes back to the lane, hoping to attack Limp. Gets hit by the Viper Strike immediately. In fact, it could attack him. Hanskin, oh, the Bushwhack catches 2. And now the counter initiation from Bignum. They save Hanskin here with that Cold Embrace, forcing you to retreat. Hanskin needs to keep his distance. Posselfield will slow him. That's the max damage Posselfield. FN considering going in again, but Alliance is doing a really good job of keeping their distance. That Acorn shot misses on Hanskin, which allows him to survive.
Yeah, that was really close, just on a knife's edge there, basically. Man, that's 1 point in the Cold Embrace. Just completely almost, you know, actually just fully taking the line.
2 points, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Is
no,
it?
Cold Embrace, my bad. Arctic Burn, it was...
Yeah.
1 point,
just
1 point.
Healing the Lion, and he's totally good to go. It looks like that was going to be a great punish from the Hoodwink. You mentioned how they were able to no rune spawn top lane. That's because Hoodwink was able to find it. Almost looked like they were able to turn that into a successful counterplay in the mid lane. Alliance, like many teams, but they've been really, really strict, especially in a lane where you can leave your safe laner and off laner alone to rotate both supports on over for a kill attempt at minute 6. They almost got it. Unfortunately, Willow just a little bit too survivable thanks to the Shadow Realm. She is going to be looking for the D word here. Be able to beat the Wyvern to the punch there, getting the vision off the map, the most important part there.
Yeah, exactly. Getting the gold as well for them. So, little win there for Bignum. It seems like Alliance is struggling to make these lanes work. I mean, they're just going to be losing the early game as expected. They have to recover kind of in the mid game with the Brew and the ganking spot we talked about earlier. Brew now finally getting a couple points of Cinder Brew, which allows him to actually be more aggressive. Drunken Brawler is nice for the lane, particularly against melee heroes, but it just doesn't do much to get the quick kills you're looking for with the smokes. He's looking for Slayer here. But Slayer in the trees. No Scurry, by the way. He's just really good at positioning. I'm surprised he didn't go for the single point of Scurry, which is, I think, super high value.
I think that should be his next point, especially because, of course, TB already in the jungle. You're going to be looking to delay this push as long as possible. We'll see here as that 5th skill point, what he'll decide to do with it. But just looking to delay the push, you know, it's definitely a hero here, the Hoodwink, that can just continuously de-push these waves. That's actually a huge benefit here to the supports, really, of both sides. I would say Bignum probably needs to commit a Bedlam to nuke a wave, but both of these supports can pretty easily nuke a wave. Wyvern especially, as here go Unique, the first smoke movement into the jungle. They can use it for a D ward though. I found unable to find anyone in the triangle immediately farming. Looks like there's going to be a counter smoke now from Alliance. Nice sentry here from FNG. They've done their research. They know that Unique like to plant the deep wards, as that's going to force Ghostic to stop cutting waves so far away from his tier 1 tower, and is going to give a little bit more breathing room here to the Spectre, who has not been off into the jungle yet. Pretty happy to continue laning.
No ultimates just yet for the supports on Alliance, so I mean they can go for the smoke themselves, but they need some help from a core here if they want to get a kill. Seems like the objective is to go for FN. It is literally double their level. I think is a tall order.
Yep. It's, by the way, Echo Saber queued up for Nikobaby, pretty much committing with the Oblivion staff.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, this build gives you a lot of tempo, which you kind of need when you see your lanes not going too well, right? So it gives you some ganking potential. Let's see FN the target, but FN just goes on them. He's like, sure, yeah, attack me. Where's your finger of death? There's the axe coming in as well. FN is in Illusion Room, dispels that Arctic Burn, Splinter Blast still hits. But Lions will be kept at bay. They did rotate S4 here, hoping to get that kill. In the end, they forced a Unique forced a rotation without having to really use anything. I mean, an Eye of the Storm, which FN can use to farm. Not a big deal for them. Hoodwink is even getting some levels down bottom. We saw Quincy Crew do something similar with a Hoodwink to get some good golden experience early and play her as a semi-core.
Hoodwink just feels like the better Treant Protector. Obviously, you don't do Treant Protector things as good as he does. You know, you don't give the healing, you don't give the slows, or the overgrowth.
What is Treant Protector about her?
You're able to just play a lane. Like your team can just leave you. You can just continuously defend a tower, push the lane, run off into the trees, and be, you know, a huge annoyance if the enemy draft is not well suited for hunting you down. Right?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I can see that point. Yeah, that's a very good point. She doesn't heal towers though, unfortunately. Yeah, you're right.
No. Of course, yeah, that's a big difference. She's also tiny compared to a massive tree, but you know. I'm sure
to add to that point, I was going to say that the Bushwhack also takes the vision away from the creeps, right, when you hit it. So, because of that, you can actually push a lane relatively easily without being caught out, because the enemy team literally does not see you, even if you're hitting the creeps. There's actually a little trick that a lot of Hoodwinks will do when they're trying to cut lanes, particularly.
Good point. Bignum again just being a bit more annoying in the mid lane, looking to try and actually has managed to kill the wagon, but S4 coming from the side. Terrorize only going to catch Limp as Slayer now looking to set up for the kill onto the Wyvern with a sharpshooter. They're going to find it. However, in trouble is FN underneath the tier 2 tower. That dives too far, decides S4, as he will now turn and instead look for the Willow, lifting the Hoodwink in the process, trying to escape, but straight to the Brambles, and now the Bedlam, he goes. That's going to be 2 dead on the side of Alliance, trying to make use of that first primal split.
Well, in the end, Unique get 2 free kills pretty much. They went a bit far there for the kill on Razor. It seems Alliance is kind of desperate to do something here, forcing things that don't really benefit them too much. I mean, we can see by the fact that Nikobaby doesn't even think about haunting in, wasn't really considering going for that kill, despite him already having the Echo Saber. Limp is just farming, and to some degree also pushing on the top lane. Unique's not really doing a ganking squad. They're just the kills are coming to them. They are getting DHL delivered.
Absolutely, it does open up at least bottom for a bit of creep push. Of course, having the having no Wyvern, I should say, thanks to the Hoodwink rotating on through, means that they're able to get a little bit of tower damage in exchange for losing their own tower. Denied, of course, but losing it basically just to the creeps. Haven't seen Axe in some time. That would be because he's already got the Vanguard plus a second item on the way. It's the Blink Dagger. 12 minutes Blink Vanguard here for the Axe, on top of one of the better neutral Axes this early on to the Chip Vest. He's in a great spot here.
He really is. Now you start ganking completely. I mean, Willow is essentially a low-key line with the Bedlam. There we go. Bignum already knew this. Hoodwink doesn't even need to smoke because he has the Scurry, so he can always just surprise with that. Sharpshooter can also go from a long distance here. And it'll be the Willow leading this charge. Acorn shot for some vision. Slayer finds the ward. Limp, is he gonna guess this correctly? Ghostic with the Blink Dagger is gonna be the reveal on Limp.
You don't want to jump into that Nether Toxin though.
Yeah. You won't kill him with that. And he has Corrosive Skin as well, so Bedlam won't be as effective either. It's maxed as well. Like, you need the Sharpshooter ready.
are scanning.
They'll at least make best use of their time, planting a ward on the way back out, looking for maybe a better engagement on the next go around. Good positioning here from FNG. He is underneath a ward by the looks of it. No, he's not, pardon me. That's a sentry. So he is good to go for now up on the high ground. Apparently the neutrals, though, very upset with him. But he's going to be... was at the ready, as they thought, you know, looking for a smoke play into the tier 1 tower, but both teams kind of content to just be farming. It should be Unique, really, you know, continuing to look for these kills, especially with the Blink Dagger reveal on Ghost Stick. But both teams for now, I mean, there's the Blink reveal now underneath the ward, but they should eventually start looking for kills here, I would say, on Unique. Otherwise, it feels like the axe is eventually going to fall off.
Yeah, I mean, the X is still a useful late game hero, but I agree. Like, you need to be able to use this power spike with a Blink Vanguard. What else would you could build a Vanguard this game, right? You're not covering yourself against anything, really, but the towers. S4 just took a free tower down bottom. This is the moment where both teams swap jungles, and it's kind of obvious where both teams are, really, but as Unique, you can't really go into the enemy triangle because there's a Viper protecting it. And even if he went for the Boots of Travel, he's still strong enough to fight.
Yeah. This doesn't bode well either for the rest of Unique. If you look at what FN is building, he's almost finished up the BKB. Still needs about 1,000 more for the recipe. But with BKB, that is a fighting item. You don't want to, you know, you don't need a BKB to farm Ancients or anything like that. You're going to be looking to just run into fights and completely dismantle what Alliance have in the early game and look to build an advantage. If you're not finding fights right now, I think they're still going to struggle to find fights later on with the BKB online. And this isn't really the fault of Unique. It's just Alliance, I think, reading the situation extremely well.
That's true. Alliance is making a good call to avoid fights. They always have that little issue in the back of their mind that, oh, well, if this goes late, TB versus Spectre, not the greatest matchup, though, so they're going to have to be concerned about that. S4 just running in. He does the split. Not going to get it off, though. Curse Crown onto that onto that Golden Brace. But S4 will survive there. Bignum instead will be brought down relatively easy by Alliance.
So there's a limp now. BOT's finished up, so he can be looking to split push waves, as well as just making sure that they can give not too many easy opportunities for Unique to start fights off. If all your lanes are constantly shoved in because you have a Spectre who, you know, can kind of just farm on weird parts of the map and then haunt into the fight immediately, Limp as well with the BOT is able to split push, it's going to make it really difficult for Unique to get vision on Alliance and look to set up these kills. So good itemization from Limp, and now they're going to try and siege the tier 1 tower at mid lane with the wagon, even going so far as to use the Fortify. Unique holding on to one of their own. Without FNG showing on the map, this is a really difficult jump in. Again, two very high priority heroes at this stage for fights. Both the Wyvern as well as S4, basically they need to go down.
Limp? With that Cold Embrace, all Unique is just waiting, biding their times. Like, can we go in? Can we just murder Limp here? But you know that Spectre can join in the fight, and your Razor's not going to be able to. Neither is a TB, so Alliance is taking advantage of their own power spikes. And maybe the passivity by Unique. I mean, like you said, the BKB on FN about to be finished now. It should be time for Unique to force these fights, even if it's 4-on-5 engagements, because you just have the stronger heroes.
And regrettably here for Unique, especially FN, is now that completed BKB on its way to him in the courier. We've got one of the best BKB counters in the entire game, right? It's going to be the Wyvern. Of course, they did slightly rework the ultimate. If there's no enemy heroes or creeps around the unit, it only lasts 1.5 seconds compared to the normal duration. So you still need to make sure you hit someone with that, but it's already such a powerful tool versus the rest of Unique. The fact that you went BKB first and FNG should be able to counter you with it is going to make his positioning you know, super crucial in this BKB reveal fight. Unfortunately, they're not going to get much of a reveal. Nice ward planted from Alliance, so they are going to have eyes on the FN BKB. He'll show it off to the creep wave here anyway, but it will at least be effective in pushing Alliance a little bit away from their tier 1 tower.
See as they push up this tower, Unique thinking about the Roshan. They are Radiant after all, so they could potentially take it, but not sneak it. They don't have a good Roshan lineup. They need a kill at least.
No,
Limp might be that kill.
I was going to say, yeah, we need a kill because we just don't control Roshan good in general, right? But once you look at the enemy 5 heroes on Alliance, I mean, my goodness, they've got some Roche control here. Basically just the Wyvern alone, right?
Limp He knows. I mean, he's invisible, so I was a relatively lucky invis rune. This game is just not going either way, man. Unique is not interested in fighting, even though they're looking for kills, but they just can't find them, rather. And Alliance is definitely not interested in fighting, just trying to find some more farmer Nikobaby. To me, the question is, how will they deal with the TB eventually? Because they do want to gank him to some degree with this combo of Lion Brewmaster. And Unique is like, you know, we're done. We're getting the gank squad together. The boys are back in town.
But it's been scouted by the ward here. Ghostic might be able to counter-initiate.
That's a good ward. Hanskin, at least. Okay, you get a support kill, but in comes S4. Hanskin's already dead. The primal split. They try to initiate onto the Hoodwink with the Hans on top of that. Want to kill a squirrel. And the Hoodwink almost gets away, but unfortunately Slayer is going to be bursted down. Windsor's Curse sets up on Ghostic as well, and they're going to creep around it.
In trouble. He's dead. FN pops the BKB, just runs him down. Palantimos as well with a bit of damage out from the Metamorphosis. Axe caught on the back lines is now going to try and counter-initiate onto the Spectre. Has no haunt rooted up. Still just too darn tanky. The Cold Embrace is still keeping Nikobaby alive, and he will be able to back off safely. It's going to be a 1-for-2 trade at the end of the day in favor of Unique.
Okay. Kind of a win for Unique in the end, because they also get the Viper in the process, right? A bit out of position for Limp. You even get a tower here in the mid lane. There's finally the engagement they were looking for. Alliance responded. I mean, they didn't respond badly, but maybe they just didn't have to respond at all, and they just had to retreat from the get-go, because losing Limp there was definitely not the call.
Fortunately, they were kind of just split a little bit. I think they were a bit confused as to where everyone actually was in that fight. Ghostic kind of made it look like the rest of his team was in the jungle, when in actuality the rest of Unique were kind of getting ready to push the tier 1 from the kind of Roche entrance to the river, if you will. So a nice engagement there. That's going to be the Blink Dagger paying off.
Oh, S4's in trouble. Berserker's Call. He doesn't have the primal split either. I don't know how he's going to get away. He's not.
Nice to dunk at least with the wand, but of course that's not going to bother Ghostic too much when at the end of the day the Brewmaster is still dead. Fortunately, there's no meta. It was used in the last fights, and it's going to be on cooldown, so they can't easily look to go into Roshan after this. So that's at least a little bit of recompense for the likes of Alliance, who've lost just a couple of heroes here in the last few minutes. 3k net worth lead, nothing to write home about here. Still pretty slow pace to game at this stage, but bombing basically completely uncontested this game is Palantimos. We should kind of mention the elephant in the room as he does start to grow and grow next into the Eye of Scotty after the Dragonlance at full SNY.
That's what I was mentioning. I feel like that's the biggest concern you have. How do you deal with this TB if he gets fat enough? Eventually, the Lion Finger won't be enough to kill him. Neither will the Viper's measly magical damage or the Brew's initiation. A Brew that's, by the way, fallen behind. You need something against a TB, and Spectre is definitely not it. Especially a Spectre that can be broken by the Sharpshooter. It's looking a bit better for Unique. I was expecting Alliance to do a bit more in this mid-game as well. Like, yeah, we were saying Unique has to find kills, of course, but that's just because Alliance were losing. There's a point where Alliance needs to just start doing something, if anything, at least bothering TB's space, even if they can't kill him.
Really, really good screening, though, by Unique. Just all 4 of their heroes in the enemy jungle, planting wards. Part of the TB farming confidently behind as there's going to be a jump onto SMG, Sharpshooter, and the dunk to set up for the kill. I believe we do have Metamorphosis. Yeah, we do have it available, but it looks like for now the call will be for a tier 2 tower, snag the outpost, and just set up shop in the enemy jungle.
Well played there by Unique. Nice little extra kill here. Without the help of the Cold Embrace, you're probably not going to be able to fight this, as it was the Winter Wyvern that gave Paul alive from the Razor. Razor's having free reign. We said he was concerned. FN is doing a really nice job. SNY on the way. He already has the Yasha to farm a bit faster. Alliance thinking of smoking in, waiting for the Wyvern to come back. Can you get a quick kill, or are you going a bit too fast? That's what's already been revealed. He goes for the Will there. Immediate TP, cancelled by the Earth Spike. The Haunt as well, trying to find Ghostic, but they're concentrating instead on the supports. They kill Bignum first, and Slayer could also be in trouble as S4 sends him flying. Limp will make sure to kill Slayer. It's only going to be 2 support kills here for Alliance. He turns into an objective. It's going to be Roshan they're going to go for.
Yep, and they can still go for this. It's really hard. No buyback on either of these supports. FNG just going to be on station here, ready to go for the Winter's Curse. And it looks, by the looks of it, Unique are not going to be willing to fight this. Man, did they chew through Roshan as well. He's basically already dead. Great initiation there from S4. Not wasting any time there, throwing down the ultimate. This needs to send a message. Unique out from the jungle, get a quick couple of kills, and the objective immediately after. So now maybe a little bit of trembling here for Unique after losing a pretty powerful objective. They're not going to be too eager to fight into the Spectre.
I don't think it's too concerning for Unique, but I mean, yeah, like you said, the objective was important. Oh, FN, the immediate Hex, Earth Spike. Do we have a finger? We do not, so killing him seems like a tall order for Alliance. No Haunt either. Nick wants to join in, at least denies the ward. We already have Scotty at the TB. And now he's ready to fight himself, honestly, with his team.
Yeah, he most definitely is. And this is going to be such a punishing item as well for the Viper. Viper already, you know, pretty darn slow, even with BOTs. It does help him out quite a bit, but these percentage-based slows, especially on the range here, are going to be so punishing for him coming through from Palantimo. So it's going to be really, really important for Alliance to try and keep these illusions off of, I mean, of course, everyone, if you can, right? Just kill Palantimo's forehead. But dealing with these illusions here, yeah, just using the mana drain is going to be the name of the game.
Yep, I agree. I mean, you could also have the Brute doing it with the Massive Spell, so there's two options against these illusions. Still difficult. The Haunt is not yet ready, so defending the tower is also not the easiest of things, but Unique not looking to engage just yet. Just to dominate the enemy triangle, maybe put some aggressive wards here, push mid, push bottom. You still are fighting against an Aegis.
Positioning by Alliance. We've seen kind of this spot behind the tier 2 tower used a lot in these cases, you know, just to kind of, you know, oh, is the team here? Are we not here? And without the clockwork, you just never know. There's the jump onto the Viper. Sharpshooter incoming as well. It's a 3-second channel. 4 staff away from Limp. BKB used by FN to be able to easily chop down the Viper. In the meantime, FNG taking a beating out from Palantimos, who's popped the Metamorphosis, will be killed off here relatively easily.
No chance.
2 dead.
That was not the position they wanted. They're underestimating the ganky prowess of an Axe and a Hoodwink. We call him Squirrel again. Alliance, not the most mobile heroes we said in the early game, especially within the trees. Since the Bushwhack can almost catch you, the Winter Wyvern is kind of an easy target. The Lion is burstable. Viper moves at the speed of Grandmother, so yeah. It's kind of a difficult. For Alliance, like they can't really correct their mistakes very often. The moment you're out of position, you're gonna die. Unless you have some sort of counter initiation like the Hex or the Winter's Curse. But even then it's a bit difficult. Your only save is really Cold Embrace, which might even just set up for the Bushwhack or sets up for the Berserker's Call. It's a tough one for Alliance right now to recover. They need to just keep pushing the lanes and hope that in the late game Spectre can carry them.
Yeah, it is real difficult, right? Especially because Viper, it's not like he is, I mean, especially as a mid laner, he's not going to be your tanky kind of hero that you might be used to if you think of old Viper. He's not really even like that anymore today, these days, I should say. But especially against the Scotty, there's the jump onto the Willow. Earthspike should be able to follow up, but they actually get on the Shadow Realm in between. Haunt is used to try and cut these backline supports. FN's going to TP away, but it looks like they're going to be able to just escape. No one's dead. Unique able to just disengage. They'll lose the tier 1 tower, but they won't lose any heroes, and they've got all the ultimates. They're going to go in for a fight here.
It's just Weiss that feels a bit bad for them. They just lost the Haunt, which means Spectre can no longer engage as easily. Since you have the Aegis, there's no point for Unique to actually force a fight there or re-engage. He just got BKB on Ghostic as well, which means that he is now free to engage relatively easily. But S4 at least is nearing his Axe, which might be a turning point here for Alliance in their team fight.
I'd agree big time with that, actually. Now he doesn't need to, like, you know, blink in, thunderclap, hope he doesn't get stunned by either a Bushwhack or the call to get off the ult. So he can do it preemptively. He can do it, you know, in one of these kind of standoff situations just to kind of, you know, regain a bit of control and zone out these enemies a bit more. But that is still on the way for S4. It's on the way right now in his courier. A little bit left to play within this Aegis, only another 40 seconds, so Unique, of course, having timed it, most likely not going to be looking for a fight in this immediate time. We'll see.
They saw Spectre, though. They know there's no Haunt here as well, so they could just look at Ghostic. Yeah, he's like, let's go. Spectre can't join him.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Tier 2 is pushed in the meantime. First tier 2 taken down. Make that second tier 2 taken down, actually. Mid tier 2 missing off the map from Alliance.
Unique has very good map control. This has given TB a successful amount of farm. I mean, 5k over the Spectre now. Even if the core-to-core matchup was good, it'd be tough already to beat the TB in this situation. This Butterfly is going to come soon as well. That's going to negate a fair amount of damage, particularly from the Viper. That might be your solution against TB. FNG, we saw the Bushwhack. FNG don't get close to the trees, but it seems like they don't want to fight this. In fact, S4 already used his first charge of the Primal Split. Over to murder Slayer. Can he do so? Seems like Slayer's getting away for now. He's not the force stab. In fact, the fight's breaking in the mid lane. Bingham will dive first. Hanskin, next target, FN, manages to kill the enemy support, but we actually see Nikobaby in a bad spot. No Haunt. Valentima's though too slow. FN is forced to use that BKB second split to put the TP up in the air. Ghostic is trying to survive all these 3 pandas, and Slayer actually catches them to live with the Bushwhack. Viper's going to die. The 3 pandas soon going to end, which means we'll be back to a single S4. They want to kill the Spectre. It's impossible. They stop the Brewmaster, but he uses the end of the Primal Split to make sure to end it onto a different Panda, not the Earthling. And Unique won't be able to get that kill.
These fights are so hectic out from Alliance when they do engage, and I think that's going to be for the best, because they are playing behind from what is a terrifying Terrorblade at this stage. But the problem for them is it just makes these curses feel a little bit underwhelming. At the very least, with this Axe, you can chase for that long in these team fights, but still not the best fight for them at the end of the day.
No.
S4 using the first charge of the ultimate to try and just, you know, get rid of the squirrel from the team fight, does manage to do that, but she still rejoins and is able to get a crucial hit onto Limp, and actually the sharpshooter even dissuading the Spectre from re-engaging, as she did manage to snipe him later on in the trees.
Yeah, I mean, the issue that Alliance is having is that they're just going they have a TP kind of route where they're trying to ignore the TP as best they can with Cyclones playing around them, but you also don't have the greatest ganking. Like, if you had a PL or something, at least can do that relatively successfully, sure. But Spectre is struggling to accomplish this, particularly without Haunt, which I'm very surprised they fought there without the Haunt, right? It's... You have an idea of how to play against a TP. I think tactically they're correct, but the heroes the heroes they have are not the best, because your only burst damage really here is the Lion, perhaps. Maybe you can consider Brew somewhat burst, but he's struggling to keep himself alive, even with the Brewlings.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is
Nice
under
play there,
attack.
at least by SF4, able to just kite them around, making sure that they weren't able to chase any further. Maybe that was them remembering, oh yeah, the Axe not only gives a second charge, but allows you to end the ultimate on S4 walking right into the enemy team, but Haunt still comes through, they've missed the call, and now S4 terrorized, can they get enough damage in FN? The sharpshooter is going to do him in. However, FNG to counter-initiate now with the Winter's Curse. It's a 3-man curse onto the Axe, plenty of damage. Nikobaby is dispatched of Slayer in the meantime, BKB active, but he's still ticking away. Ooh, Limp caught by that last little Brambles, not going to be able to finish off Ghost Stick, unfortunately. But all that being a 1-for-1, the tier 2 tower still taken down. They're still fighting. Bignum, but perhaps he can still look to escape here, and it looks like he will be able to TP away. The Hex in time from Hanskin. Aether Lens, of course, facilitating that. It's a 2-for-1. Both supports, though, once again for S4, does not make this a great trade for Alliance, because they still end up losing yet another objective and aren't in a position to take anything really from Unique.
That's true. Again, these fights, when you have a Haunt, you can sort of evade the TP, you can go for the backline, and it kind of works. Like, you don't lose people, you get some kills in the supports. The idea is correct by Alliance, but when will you be able to kill the Razor or the Axe or the TP? If I talk about Axe, he jumps immediately onto Limp. The poor Viper's in trouble. Ghost Scepter to give him some space. Ghostic just chasing after him. There's the Battle Hunger to slow him down. Ghostic wants the skill, but his carry has already decided to let the Viper live. In fact, Ghostic is now in trouble. The Hex gonna stop Berserker's Call, even the Finger of Death. Ghostic bursted down like a piñata. Alliance won't be able, Unique won't be able to get the kill they were looking for there.
That was a Metamorphosis used for that one as well, and
yep.
Roshan is going to be up within the next minute, so we're going to have a period of just about 20 seconds where we're going to have Haunt, we're going to have Winter's Curse, and we're going to have at least one charge of the Primal Split ready to go, and perhaps that's where Alliance can look to try and snag second Roche. We all know how powerful, especially second Roche is these days, so that could be quite the turning point here in favor of Alliance as we just take a look at that previous fight from before. Nice little micro blink from S4, walks right into the enemy team, but at least is able to kind of clump them up a little bit tighter, making sure he's not caught by the call, which at least gives Alliance a chance to counter-initiate. It just doesn't end up working out for them from there, unfortunately.
And the guerrilla tactics are working for Alliance. You know, Unique is just desperately trying to find kills. They just can't. I mean, to the point that the Ghost Stick is like, you know what? I'm going to carry this. I'll do this. They kite the TB, no problem. They can't kite me. So he's going for Shard Manta style, which I think is the right choice, honestly, this game. The more cores you have, the more difficult it is for Alliance to kite you. And also, if you get the pure damage into the pool, the Cold Embrace won't be able to save him. But now with Holy Lock and Cold Embrace, careful, because FNG can pretty much keep the Spectre alive forever now.
Yep. I used to meme this talent all the time, the 1% Cold Embrace heal. It was in fact so weak and so well, it used to be 1%, and it used to be so undervalued and never picked up here, as here's second Roche being just taken by Unique, though. That even when all the talents got nerfed by 20%, that one was left alone. That's how bad it was on the way in.
There's a BKB for Ghostic. He wants to initiate. There's the Ruins as well. Okay, Cold. The Winter's Curse will stop Ghostic right in his tracks. And the Willow, for that matter. Bignum could be in trouble. Bignum will die first. Zephen is being killed back into Nikobaby. Nikobaby is actually destroying the complete Unique, going for Terrorblade last. Palantimos has the Aegis still to himself. The Thunder BKB, he's able to TP. Palantimos makes out of here alive, but it was the Spectre destroyed the backlines completely. And there we see the importance of guerrilla tactics. If Palantimos is not hitting the Spectre, Spectre is free to do whatever she wants.
Yeah, great curse as well. Just basically not really setting up for many kills. You do end up really getting Ghost Stick down quite low, which is going to be the biggest benefit out of that. But mostly it gives you time, it gives Spectre, I should say, time to just finish off those backliners, make this fight just about impossible for them to take. FN completely surrounded, having a 1v1 the Spectre is not really a fight he wants to take at this stage. And when we do have Reality ready to be used with the Haunt, it's just impossible right now, it's seemingly, to lock down Nikobaby unless they're the ones getting these jumps in.
It seems like the tables have been turned a bit for Unique, honestly. As long as they can't keep the... I think they just have to keep the area of death or TP fights alive. And right now, I think they were a bit too spread out, looking for kills a bit too much. Like, you're right, they can initiate, but if you're not initiating, you need to be able to regroup in time. That seems like oh, just quick, go for kills, and then immediately stop because of the Haunt. Because that's going to allow Spectre to pretty much play like a PL this game. Hell, Nikobaby's even going for an MKB. He's like, you know what? I'm tired of losing against this TP. With the MKB, gives you some mixed damage, allows you to pierce that butterfly. Not a bad option to be able to kill him.
Yeah, Butterfly, of course, and this Element Tunic. We're smoking, by the way, for Unique. We do have Metamorphosis ready to be used. There's Aegis in hand. Who have they given this shard to real quick? Looks like the Axe, actually, is the one to receive it, I believe, unless he bought his own. Did Willow take it? Yeah, it's Axe's.
Yeah, okay. I was actually hoping that shard would be given to the Razor, to be honest, because Axe was already going to buy it, but sure, you want him to be able to fight this.
Oh, no, they're actually more pages. Axe went in. Axe went in. The Referee wasn't so sure. Terrorize now is going to stop on that. Ben doing his best here. Going to steal a lot of damage from Limp, but Ghost Stick's already dead. This is a bad fight. There's the lift onto the TB. Now Seamless Slayer with the Sharpshooter doing a good amount of damage to Limp and the break, but FN forces the BKB and TP away. Palantimos is going to try and do the same. The Curse will stop him, hold him down for a couple of seconds, but he still has enough time to TP. In the meantime, Big Num should be the last to fall here, looking for the cheeky TP away, but the Spectral Dagger will claim his life. Another 2-for-1 here in favor, 2-for-0, pardon me, in favor of Alliance.
Huge win for Alliance there, honestly. They're managing to defend this nicely. Now that team fights are more spread out, you pretty much have Haunt available for every single team fight. And, I mean, you're seeing the Brewmaster go to work, dude. This reminds you of PFC LGD when they were playing Brewmaster in the finals, actually, on Faith Beyond, and recovered ridiculous just with an Ags. The impact that Cyclone has this game has been absurd. Palantimos just can't hit, and he's regretting every single fight not using the BKB immediately. But it used the BKB immediately because you're such a slow hero, because the enemy team is not playing around you, because you're the one haphazardly initiating, just can never catch up to the enemy team, and the BKB's lost. So it's a very catch-22 situation for Palantimos here.
It's even now exacerbated a bit more, isn't it? Nikobaby now with the full Eye of Scotty completed. When you're in that Metamorphosis form, you are slowed even more.
Yeah, of course, ranged.
You no longer have that 20% move slow that you used to have on the hero. But I mean, there's a good reason. I mean, that was basically the buff that brought back TB into the meta. So any slows onto him are just super painful, as he is going to be looking to get aggressive. Palantimos sees that FNG, but there's no call there in time. Instead, they're going to have to settle for the Lion, blocking the Aeon Disc in the meantime, but he is going to be left for dead.
That was definitely FNG going, I've decided you die here, buddy. I need to TP out. I'm going to use you as fodder. Because he had an Aeon Disc. I was looking, I was like, wait, can he just try to Aeon Disc like Blink or get the Earth Spike off? Nope. FNG waiting for the rest of the team to come by here, giving them a chance in that Cold Embrace.
A little bit of map control, then wrestled away from Alliance with the kill onto the Lion. Got now Metamorphosis back, but in 25 more seconds, of course, Nikobaby is not only going to have Haunt, but most likely also has 25 talent here. I reckon this game, Avo, he's going to end up going for that Dispersion talent.
Yeah, me too. And also, by the way, in 40 seconds, well, not 25 actually, the Aegis will be playing. So then you won't be able to fight as securely. I mean, I don't know, I feel like the Aegis on TV to some degree is a waste because they're not killing him first, they're killing him last. And if they kill him last, they kill him twice, right? So maybe the Aegis would have been better on the Razor, who is the one going in, or even on the Axe. I don't know, it's a consideration. FN still conserves his cheese, though.
They did Haunt as soon as Roche fell, so I think maybe that was just a little bit of I'm picking it up, you know? could have been a haunt or any really big ultimate, you know, as soon as Roche falls and you hear the jingle is like definitely a comms test, right? Did you guys prepare this beforehand? Do you know what's going on? Are you ready for a potential counter initiation, right?
Yep.
And Unique, well, in the heat of the moment, they decide to throw Aegis onto the TB. I'm not sure if that fight looks too differently. Perhaps it does, to be honest, because FN did die early in that fight, so...
Yes. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying for that fight specific. I'm saying just in general. But in general, it might have been a moment. It might have been a heat of the moment kind of situation or kind of decision. It also might have just been that they think it's better because it's the carry. So who's better than TB? He did go for the Haunt Illusion damage in the end, by the way. Nikobaby's like, no, I am the carry. I deal damage. I'm not here to tank today. The Cold Embrace already will tank for him. I'm not against this idea. In fact, he left the MKE behind. He's going to go for the Butterfly instead. Okay, the Butterfly charge. 2-up by S4 with the split. They save him. They save Hanskin with the A on this, but Hanskin saved by the Cold Embrace as well. Not for too long, though. There's the Winter Skirt on Palantimos. Everything for Palantimos. Hawk used as well. They're trying to keep the team away from Palantimos. The Sunder. Now the successful immediate cycle for Palantimos. It is spelled. He can't tank this any longer. He gets bursted by the E-Blade. Palantimos will fall, and Unique has to fight without their carry. 90 seconds. Ghosting can't even save Big Man. Look at that Golden Face. Breach the going back to full HP pretty much as Ghosting falls. Unique just lost Ghosting twice. FN can't do much with the help of his carry. And S4 still scaring the enemy team away thanks to those constant cyclones.
That's, I mean, just really, I want to say kind of unfortunate for Unique. Oh, that's not done. Slayer trying to hide and abscond into the trees, finds that Nikobaby able to chase him just as easily using that Spectral Dagger. Lion did pull to get down Mr. President, just happened to be positioned in front of Nikobaby. That Sharpshooter, I don't know if that would have done the trick for Nikobaby, to be honest. It would have been close. It would have been a hard kill, rather, is what I mean to say regardless. But the fact that not only did you tank it on the line, but the damage was also reduced, pardon me, because of the and it's just made it feel like just a terrible bad fight for Unique. And you're totally right. I mean, Nikobaby, he's basically cosplaying PL this game, just completely diving backliners, tearing apart the team fight that Unique are looking to try and execute.
I mean, even his build is a bit more akin, except for the Echo Saber, right? It's very similar to the build the PL would go for. Even the Butterfly, you know, Specs like going for the tank ability to some degree, the stats. But you're like, nah, I need some more damage. I need to be able to kill these supports eventually. Okay, Sharpshooter. They do catch up to the Winter Wyvern, but the Cold Embrace. Yeah. That is absurd. That only lost Cold Embrace.
A lot of heals. Yeah, full HP.
That was 50% healed in total, right? More or less?
Just about, yeah.
Ooh,
round it up.
Ooh, Nikobaby.
Yeah, that was a lot of healing.
The spider legs are also helping Nikobaby play the PL role as well, right? Because he can, he sees the squirrel, he's like scurrying around the trees, like I'm just gonna break him. Spider leg right through them. Bulldozer versus small squirrel. We've seen that, you know. Ask the Amazon squirrels what they think.
It's been a rough turn of events here for Team Unique. Down by 3 kills, but now the net worth lead 8K, quickly closing, or expanding I should say, but quickly closing the lead between carry to carry is Nikobaby and Palantimos. So far, like I've been saying, the rest of the team is just dealing nice with the illusion or with the talents as well, but the rest of the alliance is just handling the TB. And Nikobaby's like, guys, easy, you know, trade offer proposed. You know, you guys, 4 heroes, handle TB. I will kill the rest of their team. And so far, Unique have been accepting it every single time, even though they would probably rather not. It's just been looking impossible for them now. There's no buyback now on the Axe as they look to be finishing off this Roche. They'll have to go uncontested here, pretty much third Roche. And it's going to have a refresher shard given to S4, which of course is not only going to refresh the Primal Split, but it'll give him both charges as well. He's basically just going to be limited a bit by his mana now in these team fights.
Okay, well, let's see. Alliance now seem to be on the driver's seat. Unique need to find a solution to this situation. Some things Palantimos can't get endlessly kited. But honestly, with the PKB now being down to 6 seconds, what is your solution to the Cyclone? Because that's the issue, really, to me. The Brewmaster Cycloning.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, he's even doing preemptively now, so I already have the Storm Ruling.
Oh, he knows. S4, at least up there, is going to be the lift onto the Razor. They're losing Barracks in the meantime. They still have the tier 2 mid lane, so they don't have to go all out for this top lane. They don't have really much of a choice. There's Nikobaby. The call, though, onto him. We're going to now channel the Sharpshooter, try and get through this first line. It's a bit of a tall ask, and in the meantime, you've lost already the full top lane of Barracks. The break now expiring here onto Nikobaby. Again, off into the trees. Oh, here's a little bit of healing. Look at all those 60s. Basically back to full HP. Earthspike Palantimos is dead?
What? The Earthspike Winter Blast Finger death combo, then immediately the hunt. He's forced to bite back here. Nikobaby still has the Aegis. He's being put against a tree, but Nikobaby is fine with this. He's just keeping the enemy team at bay. Pontimos has a menace still for the second life. If you can call it a second life. Cold embrace, Nikobaby. Thanks for the heals.
Ooh, what a jump. What a jump by Hanskin.
What an Earth
fight.
Spike, honestly. Yeah. That was impressive.
Oh, they're just going to go back here. Quickly dismantle this last tier 2 remaining. Spider Leg still in the inventory, despite having, of course, not only the Mantis style, but this 25 talent for the Haunt Illusion damage. I think it's actually the better choice for him. Being able to poke in and out of these fights, using, you know, the Spectral Dagger, using the Spider Legs, and just killing and really making these team fights impossible to start for Team Unique. They're playing without Haunt, but they're still quite confident here with the Aegis in hand in Nikobaby.
I agree with that with Illusion. I mean, now with Illusion escape, it even seems better, right? Because that actually amplifies itself even further. But I do think that that was a good idea, because now Unique feels like it's honestly a 4-1 draft, not because they chose it this way, because they've been forced into it. There's the Hail Mary kill. Let's see, Hanskin. Okay, it's a good Berserker's Call. They got his 4, but can they kill him? The curse saves it for a second. He's still infused. There's the Cold Embrace. He's gonna heal back full. He still has the split, and he's gonna be able to use it immediately. Now going for the Willow. Pontimos still hurting a fair amount. They stop Nico and he's limping to get away for the Cyclone. Sends Pontimos flying. There's no more TV in the fight. The Hex. There's too much control. Someone help Pontimos out. He's been cancelled. GG, well played. Alliance force it out of Unique. A hard early mid game, but a really good late game from Alliance.
Got really impressive stuff up from